he says that davening is the spinal cord of all the Torah mitzvahs. Torah mitzvahs, Torah mitzvahs are compared to the Ramach Ivorim Mishafar Hidim. But what's interesting is the Mishnah enumerates what are the Ramach Ivorim, but it seems to omit the spinal cord. Although the spinal cord is so important that if there's any little hole in the spinal cord, it's a sakana for life. The spinal cord connects the head with all of the ivarim. It's essential, and yet the Mishnah does not count it as one of the ivarim. And the pshat is that the spinal cord is not a protistic limb, not a protistic organ. It's what connects everything and puts it all together. The same way the Alter Rebbe says davening is the spinal cord of all the mitzvahs. We know that there's a mitzvah to have kavanah lotzes. It's mandatory. That's how the Alter Rebbe paskins. That every mitzvah you have to have kavanah lotzes. You have to have kavanah to be mekayim the mitzvah. Then there is another kavanah. The kavanah klolius, or general kavanah, that the mitzvah connects you with the Eibishter. And that's what davening does. Davening is the connection to the Eibishter, which fires up all of the Ivarim and the Shatzar. So Hasidim, throughout the generations, were known of davening in a special way. They davened long, they davened with special kavanah. It says that the Alter Rebbe had a question, where should he go? Should he go to Vilna, where there was a lot of Torah, or should he go to the Maggid of Mizrich, which he'll learn how to daven? And the final decision was that he's going to the Maggid to learn how to daven. Chabad Hasidim are supposed to be those Hasidim who take davening seriously, to say word for word, to think Pirush HaMilis, at least Pirush HaMilis, and then not just to think Pirush HaMilis, but also to have kavanah. Tefillah is tachlunim to the Eibishter, to be me'over rachman on your neshama. So Hasidim took davening very seriously, and we see in Tanya how sharp the Alter Rebbe is, that he's going to send spies for those Hasidim who don't daven ba'arichas, will not be able to go to Yechidus, very, very strong words. So tonight, Yutas Kislev, we need to take a hard look on our davening, that at least on Shabbos, when we're not running to business, that we should daven with kavanah, like Chassidim. You learn Chassidus before the davening, you go to the mikveh before the davening. It's all hachanis that the davening should be the way the Alter Rebbe wanted his Chassidim to be. I could share with you a yechidus that I had with the Rebbe, where the Rebbe, I asked the Rebbe that it's difficult for me to concentrate by davening. All kinds of thoughts come into your mind, and it's very difficult to stay focused. So the Rebbe answered me, B'chlal, I wrote to the Rebbe many, many times, and always the Rebbe would point to a particular perek in Tanya and quote a few lines. He basically trained me to realize that every problem in Avodas Hashem you could find in Tanya. So when I wrote to the Rebbe that I'm having difficulties concentrating in davening, he pointed to Perek Chof Ches in Tanya, where the Alter Rebbe says, Ve'im koshaloi, if it's difficult for him to daven b'kavanah, yischanein la'kadosh Baruch Hu, he should ask, beg the Eibishter for Rachmanis. And the Alter Rebbe writes in Tanya, Ulemanoi Yaseh. What's that mean, Ulemanoi Yaseh? So the Rebbe, there are two perushim in the words Ulemanoi Yaseh. One perush is that that's a part of our request to Hashem. Help me, lemancha. Help me for your sake. But then the Rebbe writes, and the Rebbe says, that there's another pirush, that it's a haftacha from the Eibishter. If you will try to daven, and you will be mischanin la'kadosh Baruch Hu, help me daven. And the Eibishter will answer you, Ulemano Yaser, it's a haftacha from the Alter Rebbe that the Eibishter will help you. It's interesting to note that the Alter Rebbe in Likutei Torah says, everybody should know this, that when we say in Milav Hoidu and in Hi Chavoid, we say Hashem Hoshia Hamelach Yaneinu V'Yom Kareinu. How does this shine in? We're praising Hashem with all kinds of praises, and suddenly we say Hashem help. What's the connection? So the Alter Rebbe said in the Likutei Torah that Hashem should help us to daven. We're in the middle of davening, we're in the middle of being Meshabeach the Eibishter, and we have all kinds of thoughts that are coming into our mind. So we turn to Hashem, help me daven. Now the Rebbe says that there are malachim that are mekatragim, that a person is not worthy to daven the way he wants to daven. And that's why we turn to Hashem in the middle of davening, help me daven. So we could see from this too how essential, how important is davening by the Alter Rebbe and by all the Rabbeim. All the Rabbeim spoke about davening. I want to share with you something very interesting. That Frierdiker Rebbe, previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, in the middle of the Holocaust, when it was going on, terrible, terrible tragedies, what's happening with the Yidden, at the same time, at the same Farbrengen, that he would bring up that Yidden are being slaughtered and Yidden are being tortured. At the same Farbrengen, the Frierdiker Rebbe was speaking to American boys that they should daven ba'avodah, they should daven ba'arichas. So you see that one thing has nothing to do with the other. Of course, it's a terrible tragedy, and we have to ask Hashem for Rahmanis. But at the same time, we cannot lose focus of how important it is by the Rabbeim that we should daven ba'avodah and daven like we should. L'chaim, l'chaim.
Yeah.